Chapter 14. Leadership. Leadership can take many forms. In our opening vignette, we met Adira Nuyi, a modern leader who embodies many of the principles laid out throughout this chapter. Keep her in mind as you go through this material and compare her style with the various types of leadership presented here. When you have completed your reading about leadership in Chapter 14, you should be able to discuss the takeaways from both the trait and behavioral theories of leadership, explain, according to Fiedler's contingency model, how leadership style interacts with situational control, and discuss House's revised path-goal theory and Hershey and Blanchard's situational leadership theory. Further, you should be able to describe the difference between transactional and transformational leadership. Discuss how transformational leadership transforms followers and work groups, and explain the Leader-Member Exchange, LMX, model of leadership, and the concept of shared leadership. Finally, you should be able to review the principles of servant leadership, discuss Level 5 leadership, and describe the role of the follower in the leadership process. What does it mean to be a leader? Chapter 14 focuses on leadership, which is a widely studied aspect of organizational behavior. Leadership, as a core construct, influences employees to voluntarily pursue organizational goals. There are several different approaches to the study and explanation of leadership and its effectiveness and impact on the attainment of organizational goals. The first approach to leadership that we will consider is called the trait theory of leadership. Trait theory focuses on personal characteristics that differentiate leaders from followers. The trait theory of leadership identifies several key leadership traits, including intelligence, self-confidence, determination, honesty, integrity, scalability, emotional intelligence, extroversion, and conscientiousness. A leadership prototype is a mental representation of the traits and behaviors that one believes are possessed by leaders. We tend to perceive someone as a leader when she exhibits traits or behaviors that are consistent with our prototypes. The behavioral styles theory of leadership differs significantly from trait theory. The Ohio studies identified two critical dimensions of leader behavior: consideration and initiating structure. Consideration is the creation of mutual respect and trust with followers, whereas initiating structure is focused on organizing and defining what organizational members should be doing. This theory of leadership provides important guidelines for leadership development, wherein leader behavior can be improved. Leadership is also contingent, that is, there is no one best style of leadership for all individuals in all situations. The behavioral styles theory also suggests that it's important to consider the difference between how frequently and how effectively managers exhibit various leadership behaviors. Thus far, we have examined trait theories and behavioral style theories of leadership. We turn now to situational theories of leadership. Situational theories of leadership propose that leader styles should match the situation at hand. In other words, the style of leadership used in any given situation should be appropriate to that situation, and the leader should be able to adapt her style to different situations as they occur. We now turn to Fiedler's work on leadership. Fiedler suggested that the performance of a leader is dependent upon two interrelated factors. First is the degree to which the situation gives the leader control and influence, and the second consideration is the leader's basic motivation. In addition, Fiedler's contingency model suggests that situational control is important, given that a leader is constrained by the amount of control and influence she has in her immediate work environment. There are three dimensions of situational control identified by this model: leader-member relations, task structure, and position power. Leader-member relations refers to the extent to which the leader has the support, loyalty, and trust of the work group. Task structure is concerned with the amount of structure contained within the tasks performed by the work group. And position power is the degree to which the leader has formal power to reward, punish, or otherwise get compliance and cooperation from employees. This slide also provides a graphical illustration of the components of Fiedler's contingency model of leadership. In this figure, situational control, whether it is high, moderate, or low, and the dimensions of leader-member relations, task structure, and position power determine the optimal leadership styles. What emerges from the contingency model are two styles of leadership: task-motivated leadership and relationship-motivated leadership that depend on the situation, the degree of control that the leader has, the leader's position power, and the leader-member relations in specific types of situations. We turn now to a discussion of the path-goal theory of leadership. The path-goal theory describes how leadership effectiveness is influenced by the interaction between four leadership styles: directive, supportive, participative, and achievement-oriented. Path-goal theory also suggests that the appropriateness of a leadership style in a given situation is based on contingency factors or variables that influence the appropriateness of a leadership style. As our understanding of leadership has developed, path-goal theory has been reformulated to express the complexities involved in the study of leadership. Three key changes from the original formulation are important to point out. One is that leadership has been found to be more complex and involves a greater variety of leader behavior than was first thought. Two, the role of intrinsic motivation and empowerment has an influence on leadership effectiveness. And three, the concept of shared leadership demonstrates that there can be more than one leader at any given time in a variety of different situations. This slide provides 8 different categories of leader behavior and a discussion of each of these behaviors. These behaviors range from path-goal clarifying behaviors through value-based behaviors. Let's not consider the situational leadership model developed by Hershey and Blanchard. This model suggests that effective leader behavior depends on the readiness level of a leader's followers in addition to the situation that is occurring. The readiness of a leader's followers is defined as the follower's ability and willingness to complete a task. Note that there are 4 essential leader behaviors based on varying combinations of relationships and tasks: delegating, participating, selling, and telling or directing. Now let's turn to transactional and transformational leadership. The transactional leadership approach suggests that a leader's effectiveness is based on the leader's ability to clarify employees' roles and provide rewards that are contingent upon performance. Thus, the focus for transactional leadership is on performance outcomes based on employee inputs. Transformational leadership is focused on change management and attempts to transform employees to pursue organizational goals over their own self-interests. These leaders motivate employees and followers through inspiration. Transformational leaders establish an attractive vision of the future, use emotional arguments, and exhibit optimism and enthusiasm. They also engage in idealized influence, where the leader sacrifices for the good of the group, serves as a role model, and displays high ethical standards. Transformational leaders also provide individualized consideration by providing support, encouragement, empowerment, and coaching to employees. Upholding high ethical standards is central to transformational leadership. Transformational leaders recruit, select, and promote people who display ethical behavior, develop performance expectations that center around the fair treatment of employees, and reward and praise employees who exemplify high moral conduct. Our next topic is the Leader-Member Exchange, LMX, model of leadership, which focuses on the quality of relationships between managers and subordinates rather than on the leader or follower's behavior. LMX also assumes that leaders develop unique one-on-one relationships through direct supports. The exchanges implicit in the LMX model of leadership are in-group exchanges and out-group exchanges. In-group exchange is a partnership that is characterized by mutual trust, respect, and liking. Out-group exchange is a partnership with those outside the group, but is characterized by the same factors as in-group exchanges. Some progressive and contemporary organizations practice shared leadership, which is defined as a simultaneous, ongoing, mutual influence process in which people share responsibility for leading. There are several questions that can be asked in order to determine if shared leadership is an appropriate approach. First, what task characteristics call for shared leadership? The answer is that shared leadership is appropriate where tasks are highly independent, require a great deal of creativity, and are highly complex. Next, what is the role of the leader in developing shared leadership? The answer is that the leader should design the team, clarify the purpose, get the resources, articulate the vision, select the members, and manage the boundaries of the team. Another question would be, what are the ongoing responsibilities of the vertical leader in the organization? The answer is that the vertical leader needs to be able to step in and fill voids in the team. The vertical leader needs to continue to emphasize the importance of the shared leadership approach given the task characteristics facing the team. Another approach to leadership is called servant leadership. This concept focuses on increased services to others rather than to oneself. Servant leadership characteristics and their descriptions are displayed in this slide and include listening, empathy, healing, persuasion, foresight, and building community, among others. The servant leader focuses on listening to identify and clarify the needs of the group. Servant leaders attempt to empathize with others' feelings and emotions. Healing, for the servant leader, deals with the leader's attempt to deal with failure or suffering among group members. Servant leaders use persuasion rather than authority when making decisions and influencing others. Servant leaders have the ability to foresee future outcomes associated with a course of action, and servant leaders strive to create a sense of community both within and outside the work organization. Here we see the Level 5 hierarchy depicted in Figure 14-5 of the textbook. Each of these levels is associated with differing degrees of responsibilities, capabilities, and leadership traits. Level 1 identifies the highly capable individual who makes productive contributions through talent, knowledge, and skills. Level 2 is characterized by the contributing team member. This individual contributes his capabilities to the achievement of group objectives and works effectively with others. Level 3 focuses on the competent manager who organizes people and resources towards the effective and efficient pursuit of objectives. Level 4 in the hierarchy is the effective leader who harnesses the commitment and pursuit of a compelling vision and stimulates higher performance standards. Finally, Level 5 is the executive who builds enduring greatness for the organization. Finally, we come to the role of followers in the process of leadership. Leaders and followers alike are responsible for the quality of their mutual relationship. If something is wrong with the relationship, one or the other needs to intervene. Poor relationships between leaders and followers are frequently caused by unmet expectations. Leaders do not benefit from followers who hide the truth, withhold information, fail to generate ideas, are unwilling to collaborate, provide inaccurate feedback, or are unwilling to take the lead on projects and initiatives. This concludes the lecture on Chapter 14. Apply the concepts that you've learned in the end-of-chapter materials, such as the ethical dilemma, should you support your friend, and take a practice quiz on the Online Learning Center. www.mhhe.com/KINICKIOB4E